Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video from the Cheapo Dad. In today's video, I'm going to give you my general thoughts on the recent run-up of Bitcoin, as well as some other tidbits of information. Make sure to stay till the end because I'm going to be showing you my real portfolio of my Bitcoin holdings. We start right now. Hey everyone. If you would like to be a member of the Cheapo Elite and help the channel, then take advantage of this offer from Webull. Right now, they're going to give you 2 stocks valued at up to $1,850 just for opening an account. One free stock when you open the account and the other when you deposit at least $100. Talk about not leaving money on the table. Let's get back to it. Before we get into the main part of the video, I just wanted to apologize to everyone out there in the Cheapo Elite. I am very sorry. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I have uploaded a video, but things have been crazy for me right now. I have multiple real estate transactions going on, and I don't have an assistant or transaction coordinator or anything like that. I do all my real estate business on my own. In addition to that, I still teach English part-time at a community college, and I have my kids, my family and stuff, so things have been really crazy. Also, this past Monday, I took my kids for a bike ride and then ended up getting attacked by a swarm of gnats that nearly blinded me. That was fun. Nevertheless, that's not an excuse, and I promise I'll be better about consistently uploading more videos and providing you guys with content. So, thank you. Okay, so first things first, insert disclaimer. The Cheapo Dad is not a financial services professional or licensed investment professional. He is just a random guy on YouTube. This video should not be construed as an investment advice, and it is only for entertainment purposes only. Quick overview for those of you that don't know or maybe been living under a rock. Bitcoin is defined as a type of digital currency in which a record of transactions is maintained and new units of currency are generated by the computational solution of mathematical problems and which operates independently of a central bank. So, to put another way, it's a digital store of value. It's decentralized in that it's not issued or governed or controlled by any government or force. It was first created in 2008 by a mysterious figure, man, or group of people. No one knows exactly who. But if this video is not going to be a Bitcoin for beginners, so if you want to do some more research, go ahead and do a Google search, check out Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. Wouldn't hurt to look. So there are hundreds, thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. Bitcoin is the number one, or the king, if you want to say. Part of where Bitcoin derives its value from is its scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, period. Another issue with Bitcoin is that it can be lost. So for example, if you were to try to send Bitcoin and you didn't send it to the right wallet or a place, it can be just gone. So there are literally millions of Bitcoin by estimates, somewhere from 2 to 4 million, who knows, maybe more, that have been lost and completely disappeared. So that makes it even more scarce. Again, there are others out there, Ethereum, but the main one being Bitcoin, and that's what we'll focus on mostly for this particular video. So my first exposure to Bitcoin was, like many of you, the great Carlos Matas and his famous BitConnect memes.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. What's up, BEECONNEE? Whoa, what's up? No. BEECONNEE! Wow! BEECONNEE!
No, I'm kidding. I laughed at, for months, I thought it was so hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing at it. But in all actuality, around 2016, I have an uncle, and he tends to be ahead of the curve with a lot of these things, and he was telling anybody that will listen, hey, Bitcoin, check this thing out. He was talking about it when it was $700-800 a coin. At the time, I was a stockbroker at a big financial services firm, and I was in that bubble, and that was almost like a 4-letter word, and didn't know too much about it. Now, Mr. Smith, listen to me. I don't know what this BEECONNEE is, and quite frankly, if you ask me, you should put an SH in front of it, and that's what I say that it is. Now, it's just it's vapor. It's not real. I mean, come on. Now, seriously, can I go ahead and place this trade for you and charge you $50, even though you could probably place this trade yourself and not pay anything for it? Excellent. Let's go ahead and do that. On the thinking on Wall Street was it was some Ponzi scheme or a get rich quick thing, or some ridiculous thing. How does it have any value? It's not worth anything. It's not tied to any asset. The whole misnomer that assets have to be tied to something like precious metals, and that's why there's a problem with the dollar, because it's not tied to the gold standard anymore. Take precious metal like this silver dollar I have here. This is solid silver. Precious metals have a lot of applications, right? They can be used for jewelry. The one I think is the most ridiculous. I'm not a jewelry person. They're used in electronics, aerospace, manufacturing. But aside from that, what makes this hunk of metal valuable? What is it? Tell me. Do you know? It has value because you believe it has value. The same with the dollar, the same with the euro, any other currency. These things have value because you believe they have value. It's the same thing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So when you hear people freaking out about things not being tied to an asset, you got to think about the fundamentals there. What really made me start to take cryptocurrency serious was early in my real estate career. One of my I don't know, it was maybe my 3rd or 4th deal. I had a client, and he was looking to buy a house for his mom. He bought a house for his mom in cash, and he used the proceeds from Ethereum, which is another cryptocurrency out there. It's number 2 to Bitcoin. It's a pretty large one. He got in very early, and did well enough for himself to be able to buy a house for his mom. So naturally, that got me thinking and doing some research. And of course, I hit the YouTube and the Google machine and all that good stuff to find out everything I could about cryptos, even though I'd had some prior exposure to it. But at the same time that I was doing that, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin fell off a cliff. And in my research, I found what pretty much anyone else finds when they look into crypto and Bitcoin specifically, is that they have this boom bust cycle. It's happened several times. And what happens is you see this support and resistance. So that's a technical term for support, meaning the floor or the lowest that the price will hit, and resistance being the ceiling or the top, and the price isn't able to break out or go any further than that. So looking at this chart, we can see the most famous one where Bitcoin really started getting in people's minds was here around December 2018, December 2017, Bitcoin hit over $19,000 per coin. And then what happened is it got into the mainstream. You would see it on CNBC. It's one of those things where, and I heard an analogy over today, where if you hear regular people at the grocery store, or the cheapo dad for that matter, talking about Bitcoin, then there's a lot of interest, and you might be on the verge of possibly a bubble or something being overbought there. Well, after that happened at that time, as I had mentioned, the price started falling off a cliff, went really low, as low as $3,100-$3,200 very quickly after that high. Then in 2019, we did see it start to come back. I remember when it went back to 10 grand, that was a big deal for a lot of people. And And again, then we had, and then in 2020, when the pandemic hit, we started seeing some more support, and it started, again, going back up again. And then, towards the end of 2020 here, it's just started going bonkers. And before you know it, well, now we're past the, we're past the $19,000 range. We're getting up to 20, 30, 40, you know, and as of this morning, Bitcoin hit $57,000 per coin. Insane. Now, I've been hearing for years people say, oh, you're just going to see, it's going to be $1 million per coin pretty soon. Just watch. Oh, you got hodl, fam. Keep it. We're going to go to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the Mars. We're going to Jupiter. We're going to Saturn. We're going to Pluto. And we're riding this to the sky. We're going to get in our Teslas, hop on SpaceX. We're going to the moon, baby. You know, you had a few years there where it was really, where it was pretty difficult, and, you know, quite frankly, it was on sale. So how did we get here? Well, a few things happened. Obviously, the pandemic ended up being, I hate to say helpful to Bitcoin, but people are worried about with, you know, these big stimulus packages and things like that. People are worried about inflation. You know, some people remember the 80s where you had, you know, 10, 15, 18% interest rates on mortgages and different things like that. Gas prices were really high. So people are worried about that and looking for a place to store their wealth. And fight the inflation. So in addition to that, we're seeing major institutional money come into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And when I say institutional money, think huge, massive, large companies, brokerages, right? You know, hedge funds, people with lots and lots of money buying Bitcoin. Then we get the news earlier this week that the master of the universe, Elon over at Tesla, they decided to buy $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they're soon going to be accepting Bitcoin for purchases of their cars. Well, that pumped it up again. Next thing you know, it was over 50 grand. And then again, this morning I wake up and it's $57,000, and there wasn't a particular event. It's just hit, you know, it's rabid, it's a fever pitch, and like I said, everybody's talking about it right now. So my thoughts on what's gonna where we're gonna go from here. Well, quite frankly, I think we're gonna see the same thing happen in terms of that boom bust cycle that we've talked about, and we're gonna see a new support and resistance area. So I don't, in the last bear market where we were down to 3,100, I don't think we will go anywhere near that. If you ask me, maybe 15 grand will be the support area, or how low you could see it go. But I definitely think when things calm down a little bit and there's not so much new money chasing it, we're going to see levels come down. But again, this cycle, I think we're going to see this cycle continue, and it's going to cycle up. I think cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is here to stay. Do I think it's going to be $1 million a coin or $500,000 a coin or something? No, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. So what I would say is put your seatbelts on and buckle up, because it's going to be kind of a crazy ride, and it can be fun depending on what side you're on. Okay, time for me to put my money where my mouth is and show you my personal Bitcoin holdings. So just a bit of context. After I did my research, I decided that I'd put just a tiny, tiny little bit of money here and there. Any extra money that I had that I didn't need, I'd buy some Bitcoin. I also bought some Ethereum as well, but mainly I decided to just focus on Bitcoin. And these were not major purchases at all. I was purchasing Bitcoin as low as around $6,000 a coin, and I purchased it as recently or as high as $38,000 a coin. I wouldn't be purchasing any more right now, but basically what you're looking at is, since 2018, in the last 3 years, I have purchased I have spent $849.51 purchasing Bitcoin. And again, I've made purchases as small as $4 at a time. So these were not big purchases, you guys. You can think of it as dollar cost averaging. If you have a 401k, you do dollar cost averaging. And basically that's just investing regularly over time. The idea is you regularly invest, so you get to take advantage of the market when prices are high and low, and overall you do well. Well, in this case, it's kind of worked out really well for me, and I didn't expect it. I went into this thinking that there was a really good chance that Bitcoin could go to zero and I wouldn't see that money anymore, but I was okay with it. That's me though. But currently, and this isn't all my Bitcoin. I have some at Coinbase and BlockFi, very small amount. But here at Robinhood, I'm right around $5,200 with a cost basis of $849.51, or a return of 521%, or $4,400. So then the question becomes, well, cheapo dad, what are you gonna do with that money? Well, I'm not gonna do anything with it. I fully expect, as I mentioned, will be another bear market, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this current value fall in half or maybe less. Who knows? I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to sit back and watch and see what happens. I'm a long investor. Any marks in the comments might freak out and be like, "Oh, take your money now and go," but I'm interested to see. I think my investment thesis on Bitcoin is that it will be here to stay long term, and we will see it continue to rise and be very volatile over the next 10 to 12 years or so. At that point, we will see it really stabilize, and then you'll see it go at a rate of maybe 2-3% appreciation to try to keep up with inflation. But I think there's a lot of potential and room here. So I'm not going to do anything with this. And I don't even act like I have this money or do anything with it, because really at this point it's not. And plus, if I were to sell out of it right now, you have capital gains and stuff like that. So, all right, that is going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching the video, everybody. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Are you interested in this type of video? Do you want to hear more about it? I have an altcoin that I haven't talked about that I've invested in, and if you're interested in that, let me know, and maybe I'll make a video about that as well. As always, my friends, like I always tell you, don't forget, don't leave money on the table. I'll see you next time.